Hello, good evening, children. So it's a warm evening. The birds are going back to their nests, and the summer that had scorched the day is now at its peak. Though it is evening, still it is warm. I won't call it hot, but it is warm. No breeze is blowing, so one feels suffocated. So, children, when you have such an environment, such a season, or you have some experience which you don't like, what do you do? Yes, Rachita, what do you do? What do you do when you have such experience that the day is not good, it is hot? Do you cry
No,
or do you start grumbling? No,
no.
isn't it? You don't.
Yes, I don't.
Why? Because it is beyond our control.
Hmm.
So there were many people and there are many people who battled through the struggles of their life and they have achieved success and power. Today, children, I'll just recount the story of Steve Jobs. You must have heard
Yes.
who was Steve Jobs.
Uh,
He was the founder, or he had founded the Apple,
Apple,
and
yes.
the Apple company.
Founder of Apple.
Apple, yes. So when Steve Jobs was just 20, he had established this Apple Macintosh, and in 10 years, this Apple had grown into a $2 billion company. Of course, he had the expertise of technology. But though Steve was very good at technology, he was not at all good in administration. See, we are all a blend of good qualities and not so good qualities. He was not bad, but he was not good in administration. Since he and Then he was fired by the administrative officials from the company which he had founded himself. Just imagine if you help somebody and that person betrays you, how you feel angry. You get very angry. What is this? I have done so much and in return I am getting this. But Steve Jobs did not get angry. He kept his cool. Had anybody been in his place, would have got shattered completely. But it was not so with Steve. Something slowly began to dawn on him. So, when you are in a state of calm mind, you can control your mind. If you control your mind, you can control everything. First you control your mind and then you control the world. This is what Swami Chinmayanandji had said. Control your mind. First mind yourself and then you mind the world. So Steve Jobs, he kept his cool, he controlled his mind, and slowly new ideas began to dawn on him. He still loved what he did, and so he decided to start over again. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. He could enter into one of the most creative period if of his life. So what did he do? During the next 5 years, he started a company called Pixar. 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 You know what is Pixar? Pixar is the most successful animation studio. The technology of Jobs earned him such power and popularity that Apple called him back. See, had he left Apple with any feeling of resentment or anger or criticism or abuse, he would not have been called. So, children, when you are leaving some place or somebody, leave it on a pleasant note. Like Steve Jobs, he had left on a pleasant note, so the company called him back. And what happened next is history. You all know. So, sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. It means it gives you such a great shock, but don't lose faith. You may have studied very well for your exam, but then you could not get that high percentage that you wanted, that you aspired, or your parents wanted. So, I would advise the parents also not to scold the children, not to reprimand them for their marks. And one thing I would advise the parents, that parents, you should not compare your child's marks with the marks of other students. Sometimes it so happens that the teacher has corrected, she has to correct about 50 papers in a class, and then sometimes, half a mark in the addition has been left out. And then the parent, he asks the child, here, what has your teacher done? You could have got half a mark, and then you could have asked one half mark more as grace mark, and then you would have got equal to your classmate, say Rohit. See, he has got 9 out of 10 and you are getting 8 of 10, 8 out of 10. So you tell your teacher, but the child, he was little reluctant. So what did the parent do? Next day, the parent went to the class teacher and said, teacher, I think so you have overlooked this half mark which should be added to the total. So the teacher said, okay, if I have overlooked, I'll give him half a mark. So Rohit, I'm adding half a mark to your paper. So it becomes 8.5. Then the mother started nudging Rohit. Ask your teacher now for grace mark. Grace. The teacher could hear what the mother was saying to Rohit, but Rohit was little reluctant. She understood, so the teacher gave half mark more as grace mark. But at the same time, I would advise you people not to beg for half a mark or even 1 mark. You will, because your attitude will become of begging. You will never be satisfied. Always it is you want more. Ye dil mange more. The more you get, the more you want. So this, from Steve Jobs' life, we can learn this, that whatever he had, he did his best. Even after he was kicked out of the company, Apple company, he did not lose his cool. He kept working, and then he started a new company called Pixar, and which was bought by Microsoft later. And Microsoft, I believe, I guess it was about $19,000, $19,000 million. Just imagine what a fortune he made with that. So, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Whether you are appreciated or you are criticized, you love to do, and you should be constant. You keep on doing. One day you will get the returns. So, if you haven't found that kind of faith or confidence in you, keep looking. Don't settle down with meager things, with a low attitude of grievance. Come on, be up. Pull up your socks, tighten your belt, and go ahead. The achievement is there, the success is waiting for you. We don't get success. We don't get success with half hearted things. So the success doesn't come to us, we go to it. But how? With a positive attitude. So, this is what I would like to convey to you. Don't give up, keep working. Whatever people say, whatever effect it has on them, it should not it should not bother you. You should go on working till the last. So, like Steve Jobs, he did his best even after leaving Apple. And what happened? He was called back. So they did recognize, no? So he was acknowledged. His efforts were acknowledged. So one day, children, your efforts would be acknowledged. So this is what I would like to say. On this happy and successful note, I would like to end my speech. It was just a motivational speech. And next video will be on literature. So I shall be doing Julius Caesar next class. That is for the current ICSE Standard 9, which I will be doing shortly. Okay, till then, goodbye.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.